In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really awesome gun. So, I will be selling these very shortly. I'm not quite sure where or anything, but when I do start selling them, I will post the link in the comment section.
Check the description for the tools and materials needed for this project.
So I've just cut a little piece of wood out of the board I used, just so I'm not toting this huge board around. So you want the grain of the wood, so you can see the grain is going that way. You want the grain of the wood to be going the same way your barrel is going to be, because if you would do it this way, the grain will be going that way, and it'll be very easy to snap your barrel. Just make sure it's going with the grain of the wood. So you're going to get your pin, and you are going to just go along the outside as closely as possible. It is very important that it doesn't move, and try to make sure you get the curves completely right. This little divot right here in the paper, that is very important because the gun has this little part, and this piece of metal right here goes back with the
gun slide.
So that little divot is important if you want to make it realistic. Finished cutting the gun out, and now it's time to make the lines for the chisel marks. And we'll cut this out later, but we're gonna go ahead and do this. So what you do is you grab your pin and line it up. Okay, it's okay, nothing's gonna be perfect and look right, but line this up and then pull it straight back just a little bit and make sure it's level on the top. And then just mark this line right there. And then right up from where you made this notch in the piece of paper, take it all the way up. It's best if you do a ruler for this. And then just try to get it a little bit straight. And so then if you look, this is higher up than this line. So what we're gonna do, bring it to the back like we did last time, make sure it's level, and then mark where that line is. Then we're gonna bring it up here, make sure it's level, and mark. So this is for the ruler. This is just the guidelines for where the ruler goes. So it's like something like that. See, and there, our lines are done. So now there's one more thing we need to do on the scroll saw. So right where this line is, we are going to cut in a little bit. So we're just going to cut in a little bit right there on that line, and then we're going to cut in that way. Just a little bit, not a bunch, but that, we need to do that so we can tell the difference, because they're not actually completely level on a real gun. Okay, so now on to the very next step. Cutting or chiseling. Let me grab my chisel, sorry I have to reach past the camera. So this is the chisel I use. This is, I don't know what it's called, but it's just a chisel and it's a little V shape. As long as it makes a gouge in the wood, then it should work, okay? So the lines you've made, hopefully they're straight. If they're not, it's really fine. Just try to follow those lines. And I will show you how to do it on the other side, but I'm just going to quickly do. I have chiseled the lines. So now there's a couple ways you can do this. Now, if you're making this gun, you really, like, even if you're not going to sand it down a lot or anything, you really should cut this out right here. This little piece. You should like lower it just a little bit. So there's a number of things you could use. You can use a razor knife, which is what I usually use. You can also use like, wrong chisel. You can use a chisel, one of these like really small, which I don't use because it just takes too long, or you can use a big chisel. Now, be very careful with these. These are all very dangerous and you can cut yourself. I know from experience, please be careful with your knives, especially if they are sharp. So like with this, you're just going to go like this, and you're gonna very carefully pull it towards you. Don't do this close to like your stomach or anything. Please don't be ridiculous with the tools. So you're just gonna like dig under there. I'm gonna do this, and then I will show you how to do it on the other side. Alright, so I have completed this side, and as you can see, I've dug that in like that. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've dug that in. So let's get this closer. Dug in a little bit. If you look, it's about, it's about as dug in as that little front lip I made. Now, how to do this side of the gun. When the thing goes this way and not this way. Oh yeah, and I did that backwards. So, how you do it? You're just gonna need to do this. So you already know where this line is because the indent that's supposed to be there. So you just mark that, and then you can also just bring this line across. Okay, and then you know where this line is because this is right there. So try to take that straight up. Okay, so there's that. Got that line right there. And is that straight? Yeah, that's straight. I just dropped my pen. Okay, so on this side, if you can see, it's like just a little bit down from this line. So we can just eyeball this one and guess about where would be right. Alright, so I have finished both sides, chiseling it out. So you want this to kind of be a little bit even if possible. And so now we're going to cut our little trigger hole out. Alright, so the first step to doing the hole is drilling a little hole right on here. So just stick it not too close to the edge, but sort of, you can do it close to the edge or you can do it in the middle. It doesn't really matter. See, and then you have a hole. It needs to be big enough that the blade of the little scroll saw or whatever you're going to use can fit through there. So let's just clean this hole up. And there we go. Now we're going to go cut it out on the scroll saw. Alright, there you go. Now you just have to take the blade off. There it is. It's all cut out. Looks pretty good. And now, next step is sanding. Alright, all I need to do now is sand it. So, through the power of editing, I am going to put the sandpaper here. See? That was simple. Okay, so I just got a piece of sandpaper and attached it to a piece of wood. Works pretty nicely, and just a couple rolls of sandpaper. That's all you need. Alright, I'm going to use the belt sander real quick and just do some of the basic sanding that needs to be done. Alright, so I've just done a little bit of the just basic sanding, rounded this off. Sanded this with Dremel Spindle Sander, and it's now pretty nice on the edges right here, where I can hold it and it doesn't feel too bad, except the trigger kind of hurts a little bit still. Alright guys, so everything has been done except the painting of the gun. So I actually have some wood putty, so I'm going to quickly fill in this hole. We're going to do the light down here and the dark up here. So I will begin that as soon as I put some wood putty on this piece. Now you can use a paintbrush, or you can just use a little paper towel. Alright, so there's the light done. Now I'm going to do the dark. But first, I need this, so I can fill in this right here. This little line, which divides them, so I'm going to use the light. I'm just going to make sure I get all the way down here. Alright, so that will do for the gray, at least for now. Ooh, there's a little bit of paint there. Now we're going to do the dark. And for the top, I'm going to use just the paintbrush because I don't want to get the darker color onto the light. So I have cut the two of them out, and I'm going to head over to the belt sander and sand these down a lot on the edges, so that way it fits really nicely to your hand and it won't hurt. So let's head over there. Okay, so this is done. Now, be careful and make sure you don't accidentally sand it on the wrong side to where you have two that go on the same side of the gun. So like this one goes on this side, and make sure you sand this one like this. So sand it on this side, so that way it will work on the other side of the gun, and you don't make two of the same pieces of luan, because you need two different ones. So. Alright, so I've sanded this, and now we're going to drill holes in it for where we're going to put the little decorative pegs right here where a screw would be in the gun, and then we're going to stain it. What I have done to figure out how long I need my little pieces, I've got two pieces of the wood I used and doubled them up, put this on a vise so that way it'll hold it, and then that's how thick I need it. So that way I can make all of the 4 pegs consistent. Now I'm just going to get a saw and cut it out. Alright, there's one cut. Now I just need to cut out 3 more, that same size. Alright, so now I have 4 little pegs for our thing. And now we just need to figure out how far away from the edge we want our holes, and then do that on both sides. Alright, so I have done a few calculations, done it on this one, just to test and see if it'll look right. So just kind of guess where the center is on both sides. Like that looks just about like center. Yeah, and that looks like pretty much the center. Then we're going to take it with that center line, take it off of the edge 1/2 inch, and that is where we want our peg to go. So that's where we're going to drill the hole and eventually put the peg in. So I found a drill bit that'll work for this, and that'll make it where it should just snugly fit in that hole. And I've drilled both of the holes out, and so now we need to figure out where on the gun these grips are going to go, and then drill the holes, and that is when we will need to mark off the drill bit with tape, so that way we don't go in too deep with the drill bit. Alright, so I have gotten a piece of tape and our little studs, and you want the piece of tape to be about as high on the drill bit as this is, okay? And we're going to put this where we want it and make sure it's exactly where we want it, and then we're just going to turn the drill press on and put it straight down in all the way until that tape touches your grip. Now you will need to get something, a clamp or something, to hold the grip in place so it does not move and mess things up a lot. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll head back to the desk. Alright, so now we need to get our little pegs and file one side of every single one of them. And that is going to be the side that is going to show, oops, on the outside of the gun. Alright, so before we stain it and put it on, we need to make a few details in the grip. So this is my dad's M1911. It is a 45, I believe. So I'm going to be going off of this and put these marks that are in here on mine. Okay, so I have made this little pattern on here, sort of how this is, not exactly how it is, but for the most part it is. So now I'm going to get my chisel, the one that I used to gouge out these lines with, and I'm going to follow the lines I made and do that. They are stained and ready to be put on. So I'm going to go grab the wood glue. Everything should be ready for us to go ahead and put this together. So first you need to get this on and line it up. So I have wood glue right here. I also have these little pegs that need to go in. So first things first, I need to make sure that these pegs are going to fit through the holes. So grab yourself a hammer. Oh my goodness. So I got my hammer. Alright, so let's get this glue on here. So now we need to put these on. This one goes on this side. And when you have to, wait, no, it doesn't. What? No, this one goes on this side. Yes, okay, so. Okay, now I need to grab clamps. Oh, man. That ought to do it. There, it's on. Now that just needs to dry. Quick little notification, I guess you could say. So I have an Instagram account where I post all of my woodworking things. So I will put the link to it in the description. On there, like a couple days after this video comes out, I will be posting a photo of this gun, and I will in the description of that photo, I will say how you can win this very gun that I made in this video. So do not forget to go check out and follow there so that way you can see the post, so that way you can get this gun. And at the end of this video, which is very close, I will be doing a comparison. I will be shooting this gun and shooting my dad's gun. Alright, so make sure to stick around for that because it'll be pretty awesome, I know it.
Right now, I am doing the first coat of clear paint on the gun. Once the coat dries, just scuff it up in places it might get worn down a lot, then do another coat and scuff it again, except lighter. The gun is now done.
This gun is completely done, so it's super exciting and it's finally done. And guys, don't forget, like I mentioned earlier, follow my Instagram below, and shortly after I post this video, I will be posting a giveaway for this very gun to where you can win it, and it'll be yours to destroy, I guess. There's one last final detail I would like to add to this, just to market my guns better. I'm going to do a gun shooting test. I'm going to shoot my dad's M1911 pistol, and then I'm going to shoot this and just compare them and see which one shoots better.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please, if you like my content, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any more videos. And make sure to like it so that way other people will see it. Also, make sure to check out my Instagram in the description because I'm going to be giving this gun away in a couple of days.